Okay, who here hasn't been to space?
Why?
You better not throw up on my ship.
Approaching jump in 3, 2, 1.
Again, keeping up with Kevin Feige's conversation with Entertainment Weekly and everything that he said, he was talking about, obviously, Deadpool 3. He was talking about it being rated R. Now, to me, this is not news. Everybody was like, "Oh, it's rated R." No, he said that like a long time ago. That's the only reason Ryan Reynolds is even doing this, is because it was a part of his conditions. If I come back to do this, it has to be the same way I did it over at Fox, and that is rated R. So we all knew, this is not news to me, but maybe it is to you. We all should have known that Deadpool 3 was going to be rated R, and that it was going to be keeping up with the same themes from the first two Deadpools and things like that. We obviously know that Hugh Jackman is going to be reprising his role as Logan, Wolverine. We know that he is going to be in the yellow and blue Wolverine comic accurate suit. We know that there's supposed to be multiple Wolverines of time, also with multiple Deadpools. We know that the TVA is heavily involved. Mobius is not just a cameo, he's a main character. Danger may not be the motherfucking villain anymore. That honestly may not have ever been a thing. I don't know. But I mean, it did come from My Time to Shine Hello, so. But it's since been debunked by Kevin Feige, and we're going to get into that in just a second. What else do we know about Deadpool 3 so far? We know that that's going to involve the time looms. Time looms are going to be something that we are introduced to in Loki Season 2. It is the source of power over the TVA from what we've heard so far. Hugh Jackman actually talked about the time looms in an interview. That's where we first heard about it. We do know that... What else about Deadpool? We know that, rumor-wise, the OG Fantastic Four is supposed to be showing up in it as well. We do know, too, that it is going to have heavy implications for the future of the multiverse. We also know that it's supposedly the film that cracks open the multiverse. I'm not really sure, though. We'll have to see how that really goes. But when Kevin Feige was speaking with Entertainment Weekly, this is what he had to say. And again, this is coming from the direct. As Hugh Jackman prepares for his highly anticipated comeback as Wolverine, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige hyped up the fact that Jackman will be a part of the MCU's first rated R movie. Deadpool 3 will mark the MCU's first rated R storytelling, continuing with the same rating that the first two movies used, while deviating away from Marvel Studios' long-standing run in the PG-13 category. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman will team up as Wade Wilson and James Howlett for the first time in more than a decade, finally bringing a fully rated R team-up effort to the MCU. Even though it will have taken 16 years for the MCU to develop a movie with an R rating, anticipation is through the roof as Deadpool gets to bring his antics, that's what I'm excited for, his antics and shenanigans into the same universe as Earth's mightiest heroes. Even more exciting is that Wolverine gets to join him, especially after Hugh Jackman's Logan became one of the most successful rated R superhero movies of all time. Then it goes on to say, speaking with Entertainment Weekly, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige shared his excitement. Now, he spoke a lot here. He's had a lot to say on this one. You guys aren't going to like what he had to say about the X-Men, though. Just forewarning. Especially having started his career... where was I? Blah, blah, blah. When asked about his thoughts on bringing mutants to the MCU, especially having started his career working on 2000's X-Men, Feige noted how amazing it was to have Jackman be part of the MCU's first R-rated movie. It's amazing, and we got Hugh Jackman coming back for our first Deadpool film within the MCU. That's our first rated R film. To have Hugh Jackman come back is incredible. For me personally, that is where I started. I remember sitting behind the camera, well behind the camera at the audition for the film. It was his first on-set audition, and he flew up to Toronto to do a reading with Anna Paquin, for the girl that plays, I believe she plays Rogue, for him and for me. And I think for all of the fans of Marvel, it's unbelievable that has happened in those 23 years. It's very full circle having him come back in this new Deadpool film. And then it says, about a month after Jackman was confirmed for Deadpool 3, Feige addressed the X-Men's immediate arrival. and here we go, in the MCU, particularly after She-Hulk Attorney at Law Season 1 finale name-dropped the mutants for the first time in the MCU. That's what Jennifer Walters just asked the robot in the finale of She-Hulk, and I'll give you the same answer that he gave, which was, I don't remember, no answer, I think was... Wait, he said, which was, I don't remember, no answer, I think was what he gave. Yes, but Deadpool and Wolverine, you know, we're getting close. Again, I said you weren't going to like it because they're not talking about it. They're not really talking about the X-Men. Again, let Nate Moore tell it. They are a long way off from getting to the X-Men right now. But then he went on to say Deadpool 3 director Sean Levy also discussed the MCU's first rated R movie in December 2022, expressing how much fun he was having before shooting even began and noting how much he's enjoying developing something so unique. I'm having so much fun, and I haven't even hit the shooting floor yet. I have to say, developing a Deadpool movie is one of the most fun creative experiences of my life because it's not just that it's rated R. It's that it's filled with self-awareness and that makes in writing very, very fun in a way that is unique to the franchise. The last thing it says here is, although many fans have worried that Disney may hold back on the rated R gore, violence, and language for which the Deadpool series is known, these quotes only further indicate that Marvel isn't holding back on the adult content. Now, I'm going to stop right there really quick. Again, I don't know why anyone was really ever worried about this. I've even seen people, when we've talked about Deadpool before, people coming in the chat saying, oh, it's not going to be rated R. I heard it's not going to be this. I heard it's not going to be that. Bro, Sean Levy, the director, who has also directed Stranger Things and things like that, he said that it was going the way that they wanted it to go and blah, blah, blah. He's not... Also, the writers on this film also said that there's nothing that they've put in this film yet that the mouse has said no to. And these are things that you can look up that they've said in the past. And I mean... Again, the fact that this film is even happening with Ryan Reynolds being here... I
thought that was a stab. Like, he said he wasn't doing it unless he's like... The same thing. Like, if we were to see John Bernthal, I think we would expect...
It's got to be rated R.
Like that.
Yeah, so it's like...
With those actors, who say they're only going to play their character... And it makes sense, too. You're not going to play a character so well that everyone loves for 2 movies and then just switch it up because Marvel's bringing you in. Like... No. Like, especially if you're a good actor who enjoys and embodies a role like that, not just going to let the director and stuff like that come and take it away. So I'm expecting, like, rated R and everything I've gotten in Deadpool 1 and 2. I'm expecting that same humor. I'm expecting the same scenery, tone, and stuff like that. Now, that doesn't mean that... I mean, I think that's still... Like, I'm just basically going to say... That doesn't mean it's going to be a good movie plot-wise, but, I mean, we should still expect the same things that we enjoyed with Deadpool 1 and 2. Now, for the plot, I don't know. Can't tell you if it's going to be... It sounds like it it has potential, but with the MCU, the route they've been going, never know.
It's still one of my most anticipated for 2024.
Yeah, no, and that's simply just because
it's Deadpool.
Yeah,
I want to see him interact with... because nothing's off fucking limits. That's what I'm most anticipating. Nothing is off limits that Ryan Reynolds can say or fucking do, bro. So that's what I'm most excited for. And I guess people could make the argument, well, Darius, Charlie Cox came out and said that Daredevil is not going to be as gory, but it's still going to have a dark tone, or it's going to have that same dark tone. I'm okay with that. Again, I personally don't have to have blood and gore splattering over my TV screen. For me personally,
it's cool to see. Sometimes.
It's cool. It's cool to see, but I don't have to have that.
I think with some scenes in movies, it's needed. Just with some characters and some scenes, it's needed and stuff. But I mean, I don't need the shit from like Fisk smashing dude head in the car. Like I don't need shit like that.
Dope,
like
but
it's cool to see, but it doesn't like if I don't get it, I'm not like damn, you know.
Yeah. As long as it's a good story being told.
That type of violence and stuff is specified to a character, I think they should definitely stay in line with it, but I don't need to see it every episode, every second of every fight scene and stuff like that. That's just me, like you said.
No, I agree. As long as the story's good, as long as, you know, you're staying true to the character and things like that, there's not a problem with it, you know. But I'll finish this here. They went on to say... And while more rated R content is set to make its way into the MCU, really, in theaters and Disney Plus, it's no shock that Deadpool will break the ice on that front, on top of breaking the fourth wall the way he does. Excitement is only increasing to see Hugh Jackman's Wolverine in this setting after he delivered his best performance in 2017's Logan, which became one of the most successful comic book movies in history. The R rating will allow Jackman to use the same intensity and grit that he used in all of his performances over the years, not to mention the hilariously bloody interactions that he'll likely have with Wade as they meet up again. While R-rated stories are new for the MCU specifically, having Reynolds so deeply involved with production and development will only help make his transition into the franchise as smooth as possible. Jackman and Reynolds should be able to engage in every bit of adult-oriented storytelling that they want, which should be the benefit of the entire MCU fandom. Deadpool 3 is set to release in theaters November 8th, 2024. This is still one of my most, and like I said, it's one of my most anticipated. I cannot fucking wait to see this movie. It's bringing back Hugh Jackman. It's entering Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool into the MCU. The outlandish shit that he says in Deadpool 1 and 2, you now add that with nothing is off limits. Yeah. He can say whatever the fuck he wants to say, and that's what I'm saying, bro. It's going to be dope. I'm really looking forward to Deadpool 3. But we're still talking Deadpool here. This is not done. So we're just going to move over to Entertainment Weekly, and I'm going to scroll down here on my screen so to kind of touch a little bit more. Let me make sure. Maybe there's nothing more to touch on. Actually, yes. This is touch a little bit more on what Feige had to say here about the X-Men. So the interviewer asked him, I'm curious, one of the big introductions in Phase 4 was mutants. Namor and Kamala Khan are both explicitly referred to as mutants. What can you tell us about how mutants and the X-Men may or may not play into the future? And where Kevin Feige said, I think we've said the word once. And then I guess he laughed. Kamala talks about a genetic mutation, and Namor refers to himself as a mutant amongst his own people. And mutant is a real generic term. Okay, not just a comic book term. Then he says, but part of the fun is that I've been at this company for half of my life, and we're just now tapping into arguably one of the biggest aspects of the publishing history. I wouldn't say arguably, it is. It's pretty remarkable, and it's a testament to the house. It's a testament to the house of ideas and what Marvel Publishing has done in these 80 years. The question is how to do it and when to do it. And that's something we've been working on for years. Now we know, but we're not going to talk about it. It's frustrating as fuck. And then the last thing he said, the interviewer said, that's fair, but I'm curious what it's like for you to be thinking about mutants again, especially because you started your superhero career producing the X-Men movies. It's amazing, and this is Kevin Feige, it's amazing, and we've got Hugh Jackman coming back for the first time in Deadpool within the MCU. I think this is the part I read during the other stuff. So I did want to read that part about what he had to say there about the X-Men, using the word mutants and things like that. Again, take it back to what Nate Moore said. It's going to be a while. The rumor is, this has not changed. The Fox X-Men are going to be the X-Men that get us to Secret Wars. Obviously, they're going to be mutants that are within the MCU that are like Songbird Songbird's not a mutant. No, Songbird's not a mutant. There will be mutants.
Kamala.
Yeah, Namor, Kamala. There will be mutants that will pop up within the MCU that are X-Men, but won't have that title of X-Men at the time, or yet, because the X-Men aren't a thing, I'm assuming, right now in the MCU. So the X-Men from the Fox universe are going to be the X-Men that take us to Kang Dynasty and take us to Secret Wars, and even the rumor is that some of them, specifically Michael Fassbender, are going to stay on in the MCU. Michael Fassbender is going to stay in the MCU as the MCU's Magneto. This is rumor. Take it with a grain of salt. This is what they're saying right now, though. They're also saying that the Phase 7 is going to be the Mutant Saga, so don't expect to really see the X-Men until the Mutant Saga, which is Phase 7. And I really do like this whole theory. This is not a rumor. This is a theory that people are having, that Kang has removed the X-Men because they are a threat. Because in other universes, they were such a huge threat to him that in this universe, he did something or made something happen to where either people don't remember them or he has displaced them or something. I don't know. I like the whole theory that Kang is afraid of the X-Men, and that's why we haven't seen the X-Men. I don't know if that's what the MCU is going to do. For me, if we're not seeing the X-Men until Phase 7, I feel like that theory kind of is debunked. And the reason being is because Kang doesn't continue on as the big bad in Phase 7. So, I don't know. Maybe though. Maybe that's what it is. I'm not really sure. But it's going to be a while before we get to see the X-Men. And we're going to get the mutants sprinkled in here and there before that. But before we get the X-Men, that name established, it's going to be some time. So, but that is what Kevin Feige had to say there about Deadpool. That's what he had to say there about the X-Men. Again, like he said, but we're not talking about it. So they're not really talking about the X-Men right now. They're not talking about too much of anything involving with them. So that's everything he had to say there involving Deadpool, involving the X-Men. There's actually one more thing that we need to touch on with Deadpool here. And the last thing that we're going to touch on with Deadpool is the villain. I'm upset about this one, and I'm upset about that. I know a lot of people in the chat were like, oh, I really didn't, I know some people in the chat were saying in the past, Danger doesn't seem like that would be the coolest villain to see. I disagree. I disagree. I really wanted to see Danger. For those that may not know, Danger is the Danger Room from the Xavier Mansion. She became a AI sentient being like Ultron. And she's a villain. I think it really would have been dope to see her. But this is why this is being debunked. This is why this is being brought up. So this is coming from the direct. Well, before I even say what's coming from the direct, it came out from Ryan Reynolds himself. He tweeted, let me make sure I'm reading this correctly. He tweeted, he said, the Deadpool family, he said, new addition to the family, the Deadpool family for clarity, which is just like a real family, except with less swearing. And then he said, welcome Emma Corrin. And Emma Corrin, for people that may not know, she plays Princess Diana in the phenomenal season 3 of The Crown. She does a fucking fantastic job as Princess Diana. I love that. It's one of my favorite seasons of The Crown. So that's why I'm familiar with her. With now what she has done outside of The Crown, I'm not really sure. But she's being brought into Deadpool 3. We're not sure who she's playing, but the word is she is playing a villain. Now, is it the villain, the main villain? I'm not sure, but this is what the direct had to say. Emma Corrin's casting as an unnamed character in Deadpool 3 led many to believe that she'll be playing the film's villain. In a new report indicated which X-Men villain will not end up portraying. The anticipation for Deadpool 3 has skyrocketed ever since Ryan Reynolds announced Hugh Jackman's involvement. Although marketing has yet to begin, speculation about the threequel's villain has become rampant. A casting grid previously revealed that Deadpool 3 is looking for a female villain described as a foe to Deadpool and Wolverine. That's why I thought it was Danger. Then it goes on to say, after Ryan Reynolds announced that Emma Corrin would be joining him and Hugh Jackman in Deadpool 3, new details emerged about the actress's character in the threequel. Deadline's Justin Kroll, and they do great work, everybody knows that, shared that Corrin would not be portraying X-Men villain Danger in Deadpool 3. And fuck, I just don't like that, bro. I wanted to see that. I really did. I've been saying every time we talk about Deadpool 3, I've said the villain is Danger. The villain is Danger. I say that every time. I was wrong. I'm sorry. I was misled. But this goes on to say this comes after widespread speculation that the actress would play the Marvel villain. In Marvel Comics, Danger served as a physical manifestation of the software program used to power the Danger Room, the training room of the X-Men. And then it goes on to say the last thing here, which X-Men villain will Emma Corrin play in Deadpool 3? Given this report debunked that Emma Corrin is not playing Danger in Deadpool 3, this opens up many exciting character possibilities for the actress. Among the formidable female X-Men villains, Corrin could end up playing Lady Deathstrike. Okay. All right, that's not bad. Although the character already appeared in live action before, Kelly Hugh portrayed the villain in X-Men 2, X-Men United. A fresh take on the villain would still be a welcome sight for the MCU. I still want Danger, though. In Marvel Comics, Lady Deathstrike has a deep hatred for Wolverine, with the character possessing various superhuman abilities alongside nails laced with adamantium. The X-Men villain already had numerous numerous fights with Wolverine and Deadpool in the comics, and seeing it in live action could lead to many exciting action sequences. On the flip side, other X-Men characters Corrin could portray is Wade Wilson's aka Lady Deadpool or Spiral, a six-armed sorceress. Deadpool 3 is set to premiere in theaters November 8, 2024. I still want Danger. I still personally want Danger. I wouldn't mind seeing Deathstrike, but like they said, we've seen that. Again, that's not. It could be a new take. I just feel like if Marvel and Kevin Feige are doing the things that they're saying as not wanting to repeat certain things that we've already seen before the MCU was established, i.e., changing the origins of the Fantastic Four, doing whatever they're going to doing with them. He said they're doing something new, something that's new, fresh, and never seen with the Fantastic Four before. I feel like that's going to be the same tone that they're doing even with the X-Men stuff that we've already seen from Fox. I don't feel that they're going to want to repeat like that. So maybe they do Lady Deathstrike. Maybe it is the female Deadpool. Maybe that's what they do. Lady Deadpool. I'm not really sure. Again, this image of Danger though, and just looking at Corrin, she could. I don't know. That's me personally. I mean, Q, you hear that the villain is no longer Danger. What do you think about it being Lady Deadpool or Spiral or even Deathstrike that they're kind of saying here?
I mean, first off, Deadpool 1 and 2, I didn't watch them for the villains, so I was never really going into 3 for the villain. Yeah, but I mean, at that same time, I remember whenever we first talked about Deadpool 3, it was rumored and stuff, and we had talked about Danger and everything, and so that's honestly what I had already kind of latched on to myself as well, and so I started learning about Danger and everything, about how she became a sentient from the room and everything, and I was just like, it's such a cool concept to put on screen, even if they want to give the little flashback to her origin or anything like that. It's an entertaining story to put on screen, in my opinion. And it's something that, since Deadpool isn't known for his villains, I really think if they were to put Danger on screen and nail it, that'd be a good Deadpool villain, and it'd be the most memorable Deadpool villain, in my opinion. And so that's just, I don't know. I'm not a Deadpool fan, so I'm not too knowledgeable on all his villains and everything, but I did research on Danger just because last year we talked about it and everything, and so I don't think it'd be a bad idea, so it does kind of suck to hear that it might not be true or happening and stuff like that, but I don't think it's a big deal on who the villain is. I think the movie is mostly going to be him and Hugh Jackman back and forth bickering.
Well, that's I like that you said that, because that does beg the question, if this film is splitting open the multiverse and you've got the TVA involved, what the TVA's involvement, it has to be something, because the only reason the TVA would be involved is because they've broken the timeline or something. They're outside, Nexus event or something like that. It's the only reason the TVA would be involved. So I guess that does beg the question, how do you insert the villain here? Like, what is the motivation for the villain wanting to be after Wade and Logan? Like, what is... So that's a good... the way you put that was actually a good question there. So, I'm not really sure. Like I said, I'm still wanting Danger, but not really sure what they're doing here with Deadpool. But that is what we do know here about Deadpool. That's the news coming from the direct, the most recent things that Kevin Feige has had to say. Obviously, they brought on Emma Corrin, and that was via Twitter from Ryan Reynolds making that announcement. Who she could be playing, it's still up in the air, but people are speculating since the casting call called for a female villain, that she is going to be the villain. So let us know down below in the comments, because as always, question is for y'all. Let us know down below in the comments what you guys think. Who is the villain going to be? Do you even care who the villain's going to be? Is it more of a thing where I want to go see it because of how Deadpool is finally going to be interacting with Wolverine, or is it still one of those things where you're like, no, we still have to have an antagonist in this film, and I do care who the antagonist is, and X, Y, and Z, etc., etc. And what are your thoughts on Kevin Feige's comments on the X-Men? When do you think that we're going to get the X-Men and things like that?
It's also just the first rated R movie. See how Disney handles it.
How Disney handles a rated R movie. Let us know all those questions you guys have down below in the comments.